God abandons the earth. From Ghana. God abandons the earth. From Ghana. You're listening to World Reading Club, presented by Hakeem Alibokus Alexander on Spreaker Social Podcasting and Wisdom Social Audio Inc. Presented for World Reading Club in association with UniquilibriuM. This edition's reading focus comes to us from West African Folktales, General Editor Jake Jackson. God abandons the earth. From Ghana. In the beginning, God was very proud of the human beings he had created and wanted to live as close as possible to them. So, he made certain that the sky was low enough for the people to touch and built for himself a home directly above their heads. God was so near that everyone on earth became familiar with his face, and every day he would stop to make conversation with the people, offering a helping hand if they were ever in trouble. This arrangement worked very well at first, but soon God observed that the people had started to take advantage of his closeness. Children began to wipe their greasy hands on the sky when they had finished their meals, and often, if a woman was in search of an extra ingredient for dinner, she would simply reach up, tear a piece off the sky, and add it to her cooking pot. God remained tolerant through all of this, but he knew his patience would not last forever and hoped that his people would not test its limit much further. Then, one afternoon, just as he had lain down to rest, a group of women gathered underneath the sky to pound the corn they had harvested. One old woman among them had a particularly large wooden bowl and a very long pestle, and as she thumped down on the grains, she knocked violently against the sky. God arose indignantly from his bed and descended below, but as he approached the woman to chastise her, she suddenly jerked back her arm and hit him in the eye with her very long pestle. God gave a great shout, his voice booming like thunder through the air, and as he shouted, he raised his powerful arms above his head and pushed upwards against the sky with all his strength, flinging it far into the distance. As soon as they realized that the earth and sky were separated, the people became angry with the old woman who had injured God and pestered her day and night to bring him back to them. The woman went away. Although she was not very clever, she thought long and hard about the problem until she believed she had found the solution. Returning to her village, she ordered her children to collect all the wooden mortars they could find. These she piled one on top of the other until they had almost bridged the gap between the earth and the heavens. Only one more mortar was needed to complete the job. But although her children searched high and low, they could not find the missing object. In desperation, the old woman told them to remove the lowest mortar from the bottom of the pile and place it on the top. But as soon as they did this, all the mortars came crashing down, killing the old woman, her children, and the crowd who had gathered to admire the towering structure. Ever since that day, God has remained in the heavens, where mankind can no longer approach him as easily as before. There are some, however, who say they have caught a glimpse of him, and others who offer up sacrifices, calling for his forgiveness and asking him to make his home among them once more. You've been listening to World Reading Club, presented by Hakeem Alibokis Alexander on Spreaker, Social Podcasting, and Wisdom Social Audio Inc., presented for World Reading Club in association with UniquilibriuM. You just heard God Abandons the Earth from Ghana. Coming up next in another installment is The Coming of Darkness from the Kono people, Sierra Leone. Stay tuned.